The programming logic controller. A special form of microprocessor-based control that uses a programmable memories to store the instructions and to implement functions such as logic, sequencing, timing, counting, and arithmetic order to control machines and process. Okay, so it's not a designed to only computer programs can be set and then exchange the programs. Okay, thus the designers of a PLC have pre-programmed so that control the program can be entered using simple rather than initiative from the languages. Like the logic is used to be because of programming primarily concerned with implementing logic and switching operations. If example, we can take A to B and then C. We can consider as A is an input and B is an input and C is output. Okay, so we can fix out the sensors and switches for considering the A and B, and then we can get the output using by C. Okay, so the input devices, sensors such as switches, and output devices that system B controlled motors, valves. So the input devices may be a switches and then sensors. The output devices may be a motors and valves. Okay, it's connected to the PLC. The operator then enters the sequence instructions and the program to the PLC. The operator memory of the PLC and control the monitors inputs and outputs according to the program and carries out the control rules which is being programmed. Okay. So these are some kind of PLCs like PNs, Siemens, Omrons, Mitsubishi, Koyo, and then Danfoss, Voltas, Honeywell, Panasonic. These kind of industries having separate PLC for one purpose. Okay. These are some PLCs hardwares you can see in the system. These all kind of PLC having say some kind of inputs, digital outputs, analog inputs, analog outputs, and Ethernet ports, communication ports. These are available. Okay. The PLC have a great advantage that same basic controller can be used with a wide range of control systems to modify the control and rules that are be used. Although necessary for an operator to key interpret different instructions, there is no need to rewire. The system is flexible, core effective system which can be used with the control systems which is very quite widely than natural complexity. The PLC is smaller to computers, but whereas the computers are optimized for the calculation display tasks, PLC can optimize for the control tasks with the industrial environment like. Okay. So you can check what is inside of PLC. The PLC will be having rugged with designed withstand vibrations. It can withstand vibration, temperature, or noise, and also it's having interfacing for inputs and output already inside to the controllers. Okay, and also need easily programmed and have an easily understand the programming language which is programmably concerned with the logic switching operations. So initially, the PLC was developed in 1969. They now used to extend the small self-contained units for using the 20 digital inputs outputs to modular systems. So it can be used for the large number of input outputs, can digital analog inputs outputs also carry the proportional integral derivative control systems. Okay. So instead of PID controller, we can use the PLC. That is the main important things which we have to follow. Okay. And also we having the some programming logic controller architecture and the simple components available in the screen you can see. So that I already said about we having some kind of input switches, switches, sensors, and smart devices for the input controllers. In programming controller having the power supply and CPU memory and communication ports, and then having some output controllers like motor sensors, lights, valves, smart devices. So it has some memory and it has some power supply like 24 volt DC or 220 AC volt power that we have to follow. Okay, so and then the system is controlled by the overall inputs and outputs. Okay, what we having in the screen you can see. Okay, so these are some important introduction about PLCs. So remaining things we can see in our next video. You can watch what are the main things available, like what are the inputs outputs or digital outputs in our PLC. You can check it out in Google Images. Further, I can show the hardware of the PLC if I can. Okay, thank you for watching.